It's March the 3rd, 2024. Today we'll be in John chapter 12. Again, we're going to be there for another year, looks like. There's a lot of good stuff in John 12. How to die every day. How do you do that? We'll talk about that in a minute. We're on a bunch of programs. You can see them all there. If they shut one down, go to another one, okay? We were on TikTok this morning, and somebody gave it, because I mentioned my wife's dog, how dumb it is, they gave us a hate speech strike. So eventually TikTok will take us off. So all you TikTokers, be ready to go somewhere else. Want to pick a channel, go to Dr.Dino.com, and they're all listed right there. They seem to love to. They can't answer what we teach, so they try to shut us up.
Yes.
They did the same with Jesus and the disciples. It's standard. Okay, we have a whole bunch of channels run. You can, if you want to help us, donation on PayPal right there. And Dr. Kent, the Science Gent's a new channel you can come on. So today, March the 3rd, John chapter 12, how to die to self. So we're at Genesis Baptist Church, an independent, temperamental, fundamental, right-wing, radical, chicken-eating Baptist church where God gets the glory for his creation instead of the stupid evolution religion. We're straight north of Pensacola, 70 miles. Come on up and pay us a visit. Come visit. It's free. And it's free because people help us stay open for free by taking us on as a missionary to the dumb and the blind, okay? Want to join our 777 club? Go to drdino.com. You can do it there. Or call Sandra, 855-BIG-DINO, extension 1, or secretary at drdino.com. Look, our shirts, we don't match.
That's okay. It's pink. I don't want you to wear pink.
Oh, I don't want to. Okay. And let's see, drdino.com. And we've had 7.885 years we've been open now for free because people support us. Visitors from all over. Couple on their honeymoon. Where are they from? Who remembers? Pennsylvania. Came down. I gave them the tour yesterday. Had a wonderful time. People who love the Lord help us to open for free. So you can meet the world's most hated preacher and his gorgeous wife. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And let's see. Back in January, somebody started telling me, Brother Hovind, since it's the first time you'll be singing this year, I have a special request. Would you please sing Up on the Mountain? I know what they mean. I know what it hurts. They're trying to.
We do. We go up on the mountain and we sing.
Yeah. Would you sing Way Down Upon the Swanee River? I said, no, look, the Swanee River is 270 miles away. I couldn't make it back in time for church. So no, okay, no. Let's see. Brother Hovind, would you sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow? What they mean, okay. Would you please sing So Low? So low we can't hear you. No. Would you please sing that Korean song, Tomorrow? Please go over there and sing it tomorrow. What are they trying to say? Never mind. Okay.
Honey, you sing really well. I love your singing.
Could you let Miss Sandra sing alone today while you sing that song about silence? You heard Stop in the Name of Love before you break my eardrums. Brother Hovind, have you heard that song, Hello, Goodbye? Well, please say goodbye and don't sing. And stop.
Goodbye and stop.
Okay. We found user 381. We know who you are. We're going to sing anyway, just for you. Would you live for Jesus and be always pure and good? Would you walk with him within the narrow road? Would you have him bear your burden, carry all your load? Let him have his way with thee. Okay.
We're either going to get it too high or too low. So we'll do our best.
You pick one.
Oh, and happy 900 days.
900 days.
Mm-hmm.
Would you live for Jesus and be always pure and good? Would you walk with him within the narrow road? Come on, join us. Would you have him bear your burden, carry all your load?
Let him have his way
with thee. His power can make you what you ought to be. His blood can cleanse your heart and make you free. His love can fill your soul and you will see. 'Twas best for him to have his way with thee. We're singing about that. We're talking about that this morning. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Happy
All right.
900.
Yeah, happy 900. Okay. Let's see. Let's get rid of this chair and this chair. And okay, Weeby's on, let's see, slide number 1754. Enter. Okay. Jesus, when he found a young ass, sat thereon, as it is written. You know, it's amazing how many things about Jesus' life, the things he did, were written thousands of years earlier. The prophets wrote things that they said someday he's going to come sitting on a colt and the foal of an ass, and he's going to die. He's going to be lifted up. There's all kinds of prophecies. The story of Jesus saturates the narrative of the Bible. Prophecies of his first advent. See, first advent means the first time he came to earth. The second advent is coming up real soon. He's going to come back. Okay, but they call it, I don't know why they call it an Advent. But Meister, do you know why? They call it an Advent. Get used to it. Okay, his first Advent are found throughout the Old Testament. Allusions to him also come up in micro ways, as many people and events hint at the work he would accomplish. One scholar, Mr. Payne, found 574 verses in the Old Testament that somehow point to or describe or reference the coming Messiah. Another guy found 456 references. Conservatively, Jesus fulfilled at least 300 prophecies in his earthly ministry. For example, there they are. Adam was a type of Christ because both of their actions affected a great many people. You can see that in the verses on the side. People have done this, studied this for years, and made charts and posters about Old Testament verses that applied to Jesus coming. It's amazing how many there are. Also, the prophecy, the serpent and the seed of the Eve will have conflict. He told the serpent, someday the seed of the woman's going to bruise your head. And Jesus Christ, the seed of the woman's going to bruise the devil's head. Coming up. But you can study that topic for the rest of your life and never get to the bottom of that one. It's almost like God inspired those Old Testament writers to say things that they probably didn't even know what it meant. God just told them to write it. At the end of the book of Daniel, Daniel said, Lord, I wrote what you told me, but what's this mean? He said, doesn't matter. Put the pen down. You're done. 600 years later, John on the Isle of Patmos finishes the vision of the future in the book of Revelation. That's why when I did my chart studying all this about the future, what on earth is about to happen, I included all the verses from Daniel that talk about this, and Matthew, Mark, and Luke to try to decipher what's the Bible teaching us about the future? What's going to happen in the future? And that's what my chart and my book and my video series is all about. What on earth is about to happen? According to the Bible, it's going to get bad. It's going to happen soon. I think we might have already started. I don't know. We shall see. Anyway, he said in Zechariah, one of the last books of the Old Testament, rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem, behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just and having salvation, lowly and riding upon an ass and upon a colt, the foal of an ass. How did Zechariah know that? God told him what to write, and he wrote it. And sure enough, Jesus came in, right? Now, the atheists will argue, was it the ass or the colt? Look, he probably took turns writing each one, okay? Maybe he had his foot on the little one and his backside on the big one. I don't know, but it's not a contradiction. He might have rode one for a while till he got tired and then get on the other one. They're so desperate to prove that book wrong, aren't you? I know why, too. Okay. These things understood not his disciples. They didn't understand. Why is he riding on this little donkey? At first. But when Jesus was glorified, then they remembered. You'll have things happen in your life. You'll read Bible verses. I've been doing this all my life, 55 years now. I read the Bible, and then years later, something will happen and a verse will pop into my mind. Oh, I get it now. I see now. But if you haven't put it into your brain, if you never read it, that can't happen to you because you don't have it stored in your brain anywhere. Read the Bible, memorize verses, and later you'll be surprised how it'll change your life. God will guide you with his word. Something you might have read 5 years ago will click into your mind when you're about to do something stupid. How many of you ever did something stupid and wished you could go back a few seconds and undo what you just did? Okay. Yeah. Well, get God's word to guide you. Okay. When Jesus was glorified, then they remembered that these things were written of him and that they'd done these things unto him. So after Jesus died, rose from the dead, and was glorified, went to heaven, then they started remembering, wow, it was prophesied. He was going to ride in on a donkey. We were there. We saw it. Wow. All kinds of things that Jesus did would come back to their mind. Oh, now it makes sense. The people, therefore, that was with him when he called Lazarus out of his grave, can you imagine that? Dead 4 days, called him out of his grave, and raised him from the dead, bear record. For this cause, the people also met him, for they had heard that he had done this miracle. Many people heard that Jesus had done this miracle, raising the dead. I think that would get around in the newspaper, wouldn't it? I think that would go all over TikTok and everywhere else, whatever they had back then. Okay. Hard Rock. Okay. The Pharisees, therefore, said among themselves, perceive ye how ye prevail nothing? Behold, the world has gone after him. What are these Pharisees worried about? All they're worried about is other people following Jesus. We got some atheists. All they worry about is how many clicks do I get on my account compared to how many clicks they get on theirs. That's all they worry about. They said the world's gone after him. What are we going to do? We got to shut him up. People are following him. Oh no. Let's claim he had hate speech and turn him in so they shut his channel off. Anything they can do. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Follow Jesus. Hey, would it be a good thing if all the world followed Jesus? If everybody in the world decided, whether it's true or not, let's say, everybody decided they're going to follow Jesus' teachings, would that make the world a better place or a worse place? Yeah, much better. Okay. He taught his followers to love one another, obey God's word, help others, give to the poor, be kind, teach others. Does evolution teach any of those? No, the strongest survive the struggle for life. If you can't make it, too bad. I ain't helping you. You deserve to die because you're inferior. That's the hidden message behind evolution. See, now in John chapter 12, verses 12 to 19, it's covered in the same stories about entering Jerusalem are covered in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. But if you get a synopsis of the Gospels like this guy did, excellent, excellent work. The cleansing of the temple is found in Matthew, Mark, Luke, but not found in John. Notice the John column is empty. A whole lot of stuff happened between verse 19 and verse 20. The other Gospels covered it. So to get the whole story, you really got to blend them all together. Brother Meister, didn't somebody write a gospel with all the verses combined? The harmony of the gospel or something? Yeah. Okay. So all these stories, the parable of the two sons, the wicked husband, they're found in the other gospels, but not in John. Why? I don't know. Then we skip down to all this stuff also. David's son, David's Lord, hypocrisy of the Pharisees, the widow's mite story. None of those are found in John. We skip down now to John chapter 12 and verse number 20, where we pick up the story where the Greeks visit him. And this, John is the only one to carry that story. Matthew, Mark, Luke don't have it. Why? Don't know. That's the way it is. Get used to it, okay? And there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. Now, the Greeks are mentioned in the Bible a couple of times. There were certain Greeks, the one we just read, it mentioned again in Acts chapter 14. A whole bunch of the Greeks believed. And some of them believed and consorted with Paul and Silas, and of the devout Greeks, a great multitude. And of the chief women, not a few, apparently, the important people, the rich people, the politicians, whatever. Therefore, many believed, and the Greeks, and of men, and not a few. So, Greeks are mentioned in the Bible 14 times. I am debtor both to the Greeks and to the barbarians. For the Jews require a sign, the Greeks seek after wisdom. It's a different way to reach them. You want to reach the Jews, you got to show them a sign. You want to reach the Greeks, you got to use logical, rational arguments that make sense. Okay, but we preach Christ crucified, to the Jews a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness. The Greeks could not understand, why would a guy die on a cross? How does that save us? They couldn't get it. It was a stumbling block. Okay, so the Greeks are mentioned 9 times in the book of Acts, and 3 times in the book of Corinthians. Well, guess what? Corinth, it's in Greece. That's where it is. Okay, it's a Greek city. So there's Greece right there, and they have all the churches that were started in Greece, and several books of the Bible, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Philippians, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, talks about the Bereans in the book of Acts. These are all in the country, what today is the country of Greece, okay? So the gospel got there right away, and by the way, they need it again, bad, okay? They have veered off course into some dumb teaching over there, okay? The same came, that would be the Greeks, came therefore to Philip, which was of Bethsaida of Galilee, and desired him, saying, Sir, we would see Jesus. Hey, Philip, we know you're one of his disciples. Can we have a meeting? We'd like to talk to Jesus. That's the way it ought to be. Philip cometh and telleth Andrew. Andrew and Philip tell Jesus. Look, if somebody wants to come see Jesus, you bring him. You don't have any, you bring him. Guy called me from Australia. What time was that last night, honey? 11 o'clock last night or something. Phone rings. Hello? Calling from Australia. It's dark on my side, sir. The world's round, you know. Are you a flat earther? No, okay. So anyway, he was telling about, I said, you got to, I preached in Australia. You got sinners over there. You need to reach them. Look, I'm going as fast as I can go, reaching as many as I can reach. Don't expect me to do it all. You do it. People call me all the time. I got a neighbor believes in evolution. Can you help me? Yeah, you can use my material, watch my videos, learn my stuff, but you reach them. If somebody wants to come to Jesus, you do it. I led my first soul to the Lord that way. I was bringing people back to the back of the tent to somebody else to win them to Christ. I'd only been saved for about 6 months. I brought a big old football player back there and opened the tent flap, and there's nobody back there like there's supposed to be. He said, "Well, what do we do now?" I said, I guess I'll show you." We sat down and got 4 Spiritual Laws gospel tract out of my pocket and read the whole thing to him. I didn't know what else to do. I read the whole tract. It worked. He got saved. I said, "Lord, I want to do this the rest of my life." Look, you can bring somebody to the Lord. You can be 7 years old and bring your friends to the Lord. There's no age limit. Okay. Find somebody. If it's really great if you have a soul winning partner with the same desire to bring people to Jesus. Jesus sent out his disciples 2 by 2. There's a reason for that. He sent out the disciples. He sent 2 of his disciples. John did the same thing. John sent 2 disciples, okay? Sent 2 of his disciples. He sent them 2 by 2. It's all through the Bible. He sent 2 of his disciples. So I think it's a pattern that works. The military knows to get a squad of 4 guys. They give a machine gun, a whole bunch of bullets, a bunch of stuff to carry, a scope, a sniper, telescope and everything. And they put that squad of 4 guys. Here's your job. Go take out that pillbox. 4 guys, they work together. One guy by himself, he can get discouraged and lonely. But if there's 4 guys, he don't want to get scared in front of his buddies. I'm a Marine, It helps. When you go 2 by 2, one can help the other one. Ecclesiastes, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. If they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. And look, that's why God, I think, designed a good godly marriage. One gets discouraged, the other one can encourage. You need 2 together, okay? Again, if 2 lie together, they have heat. How can one be warm alone? I like that verse. Okay, let's see. Jesus, walking in the Sea of Galilee, saw 2 brethren, Simon Peter and Andrew, his brother. They were fishing, and he called them to follow him. Andrew, his brother. Poor Andrew, he's always known by being who his brother was. You ever know some people, the only thing they're famous for is being married to somebody who's famous or being related to somebody who's famous. They don't do anything themselves, but they're okay. Andrew is found in the Bible, let's see, just in the book of John 5 times. Okay. Jesus answered and said, "The hour is come." This is the hour. They're going to reject me as king. Notice they just rode in on the donkey and they said, "Hail, here comes the King of the Jews," palm branches, the whole story, put their robes down. This is it. They're going to reject me. And God's going to take the Jews and set them aside. He's going to take off the natural olive branch and graft in the wild olive branch. That's why this is called the age of the Gentiles. On the blue chart here, the times of the Gentiles. God says, I'll try to get. He tried to get fruit out of the Jews, and they're a little stubborn and didn't give him much fruit. He said, "Okay, you Jews, I brought my Messiah. I did everything I could do. You rejected him. I'm going to set you aside and graft in the Gentiles." We're the wild olive branch grafted in from the book of Romans. Someday, he's going to say, "Hey, you Gentiles aren't doing very good either. I'm going to take you out and put the Jews back in." He's not done with the Jews. Okay? Keep an eye on Israel. The hour is come that the Son of the Man should be glorified. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die. When you plant a seed, the seed dies. Think about that. Amazing. A corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. Let's see. 1 grain of wheat can produce 8 or more heads with 40 seeds on each head. Well, let's say you got 8 with 40. You got 320 seeds coming off of 1 seed because that seed died. That seed had to die to bring forth 320 more seeds. Pretty cool. Grains harvested from 1 acre can provide a family of 4 with flour to make enough bread for 10 years. Wheat needs 60 heads to 70 heads per square foot at harvest to yield full potential. Most wheat seed in Oklahoma has between 13,000 and 16,000 seeds per pound. Let's see. Growers using seeding rates for winter wheat that vary from 30 to 180 pounds per acre. 320,000 to 3 million seeds per acre. Wheat's amazing. The seed goes in the ground, the seed dies, and brings forth a whole lot of fruit. I mean, a whole lot. Wheat is amazing, okay? Let's see. There are 6 wheat types in the United States based on the growing season, hardness, or color. See, they've developed wheat that some grows better in hard ground, some grows better in soft ground. Some grows better in the cold weather, some grows better in the hot weather. But guys, look at me. It's all wheat, okay? Some cows like hot weather better, some cows like cold weather better. They got longer fur. Some dogs are better adapted to cold weather and hot weather. They're still dog. But see, the atheists don't get it. They'll see all these kinds of wheat and say, wow, they're related to elephants. More than 25,000 varieties of wheat adapted to different climates. American wheat farmers grow 6 classes of wheat, fixed into 6 different categories based on what time they're going to plant it, et cetera. Hard soil, what color wheat do you want? According to encyclopedia.com, there are 100,000 unique varieties of wheat derived from 6 classes worldwide. And a variety will commonly be grown for about 10 years before a new variety might be needed. So look, pick a number. There's 100,000 kinds of wheat. All these varieties of wheat does not prove that wheat is related to whales and hippos. How can you guys be so dumb? Smack my head. How can these believers not get it? How can you evolution believers not get it? You are not an ape. You are not a fish. You're not related to frogs or trees. You're not related to wheat. If you think you are, call for a debate. Okay? If you're embarrassed about being made fun of for being dumb, well, start being smart. Give it up. God told us they would bring forth after their kind. 24 times in the first 7 chapters. They're going to bring forth after their kind. You know, wheat always makes wheat seeds. But you guys have wheat on the chart indicating wheat. Oh, my chart's gone. Wheat is related to potatoes and to whales and humans. I haven't asked anybody if they're related to wheat. Let's see. I asked Professor Dave, are you related to a strawberry? Oh, yeah. I asked Snake was right. Are you related to a ladybug? Oh, I'm related to a ladybug, all right. Ken Rock, are you related to a turtle? Oh, yeah. T-Jump, are you related to an apple? Yep. Or tomato, I guess it was. Wade the Wizard is related to a snail. I keep asking these guys, how can you believe something so dumb? It's mind-boggling. You really think you have a common ancestor with wheat? How do I help them? That's all anyone's ever seen. Wheat brings forth after their kind. Wheat makes wheat. It might get a variety, 100,000 varieties, okay? Who on earth taught you that wheat is related to whales and hippos? That's stupid. There's no kind way to say it. It's really stupid. Stop and think, okay? You really think everything in the universe fit in a dot? And you make fun of the flat earthers, and you should, but you better look in the mirror, start making fun of your own stupid theory, believing you're related to wheat. How can I help them, Joe? What else can I say? Anyway, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. If it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. He that loveth his life shall lose it. He that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. What is this? You have to give up your life? Well, the wheat has to give up its life to make a whole wheat stalk grow with a bunch of seeds on it. The concept of dying to self is found throughout the New Testament. It's expressed the true essence of the Christian life, in which we take up our cross and follow Christ. Dying to self is part of being born again. The old self dies and the new self comes to life. Not only are Christians born again when we come to salvation, we also continue dying to self as part of the process of sanctification. As such, dying to self is both a one-time event and a lifelong process. You know, it's amazing. I've been to quite a few funerals. You can't make a dead man angry. Right? Scream at him, yell at him, cuss at him. What? No reaction. He's dead. You can't make a dead man argue with you. He won't argue. You can't make a dead man upset. You can't make a dead man swear. In Romans chapter 6, what shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? See, if we could get this concept, when you accept Christ, you died and he wants to live in you now. But you got that old man keeps coming back to life every morning. Does anybody else have trouble with theirs keep coming back to life? Yeah, okay. Know ye not that so many of us, as were baptized unto Jesus, were baptized in his death? Therefore, ye are buried with him by baptism into death, like as Christ was raised up from the dead by the glory of God, even so we should walk in newness of life. There ought to be something new. When you accept Christ, that's when the battle starts between the old you and the new you. Which one you going to let win? It's up to you. He said, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. He that is dead is freed from sin. See, if a person really has died with Christ, they're dead in Christ. You can't make them angry. You can't argue with them. They won't argue back. Huh. If we be dead with Christ, we believe we shall live with him. That death hath no more dominion over him. In 1 Corinthians, he said, I die daily. Every day, got to wake up. Okay, Lord, I got that old man. He's coming back again. And when you're about to get into an argument with somebody, maybe you ought to say, Lord, help me kill that old man and respond with the new man. Okay? Be not deceived. Evil communication corrupt good manners. If you're having fights and arguments with your spouse, your brother or sister, your boss at work, it doesn't matter. Somebody forgot to kill the old man that morning. You can't argue. Dead men won't argue with you. Won't argue at all. You can't get them upset. They smile. Oh, they don't even smile. That you put off the former conversations of the old man, which is corrupt, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. See, the Christian life is every day deciding, okay, I'm going to try to let Jesus live through me. I'm going to try to respond like Jesus would respond. It's an every moment by moment decision. What are you doing? Put on the new man, put away lying, speak every man the truth. We're members one of another. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. In Ephesians, neither give place to the devil. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth. Some of you are having trouble with cursing and swearing, and you claim you're a Christian. You still curse and swear, don't you? Well, you better get a hold of that. You better talk to the Lord about that. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth. Grieve not the Holy Spirit of God, whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption. Let all bitterness, wrath, anger, clamor, evil speaking be put away with all malice. Be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another. That's a song you can sing. My wife's not here to cover up for me. And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. Be kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. Are you kind to each other? If you're having trouble in your marriage, in your job, with your workers, you better go look in the mirror. In Colossians, he said, mortify. That means kill. Therefore, your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, covetousness, idolatry. Kill these things. Kill them. But now ye also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth, okay? Lie not one to another. You put off the old man with his deeds. This is the battle. Kill that old man and let the new man come to life in you. And put on the new man, the image of him that created him. We're made in God's image, but we kind of lost it. It got marred. If any man serve me, let him follow me. Where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man will serve me, him will my Father honor. You want to serve and follow him? And you know where he's going. This is a couple of days before they crucified him. He's telling his disciples, follow me. Follow you? Yeah, Lord, might be to the cross. And God will honor and reward you greatly. Start learning to die to self and learn to live. Let him live through you. In Galatians chapter 2, for I through the law am dead to the law, that I might live unto God. I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. I am crucified with Christ. Great way to memorize verses is to sing them. Get somebody else to sing them. But how about, are you crucified with Christ? Let's see, what's the title of today's message? How to Die Every Day. Why don't you get alone with God for a few minutes and say, Lord, listen, that old man in me is what's causing my problem on my job, in my marriage, and my relationships. Lord, help me to crucify that old man. Now, it's something you have to do. He's not going to do it for you. You got to say, I've decided to follow Jesus. I'm going to I'm going to kill that old man and let that new man live through me. That's the Christian life. Brother Meister, 55 years for me now. It's a battle every day. How long for you? How long you been saved? 73 years. It's a battle every day. Yep. Okay. I know some of your atheists are thinking, yeah, Hovind, I'd like to kill that old man. Bring it on. Okay, questions or comments quick? Yes, sir.
Do you believe evolutionists always produce more evolutionists? And the Word of God always produces more Word of God?
Well, what you produce physically, humans always make baby humans, but what you produce mentally, people can be talked into believing dumb things. And some evolutionists are, like the guy we're going to debate this Wednesday night. Not debate. It's Clint's Reptiles. Clint, I'll come live on screen if you want, okay? Clint in Utah. I suspect he's a Mormon. I don't know. Claims he believes in God, but he's turning thousands of people away from believing the Bible. We're going to whack him Wednesday night. Clint, fair warning, you're welcome to come on the show. 855 BIG-DINO, extension 4. Joseph will put you on, okay? So I think evolutionists, they don't understand yet the gravity of what they're doing, but they're turning people away from God. They're going to really regret doing that. It's bad enough if you want to be stupid and believe you're related to wheat, okay? That's bad enough. But to go tell other people and convince them that it's true, that's going to really haunt you for a long time. Then you'll hear about the millions of years. Okay? Other comments here, brother? Let's see. Letter J was created. Jesus is name in Yeshua. Why did the Germans give him the name Jesus? Well, first place, none of the English letters of the alphabet. People say there wasn't a J back then. There wasn't a B, C, D, E, E, or F either. That's a real dumb argument. There wasn't a J. Okay, I don't fall into that trap. Okay. Peter and Pedro, same name, different language. So Jesus is perfectly fine. King James translators did it right when they called him Jesus. Okay. Yeshua is not found anywhere in the Bible. So I'm not going to use that word. Okay. Let's see. Dr. Kent, the science gent, would you please explain what it means for Jesus to become sin? To me, it sounds wrong and blasphemous to say God can literally be sin. Well, the priest in the Old Testament, they would bring the lamb, and the person who sinned and wanted this lamb to be a sacrifice for him would put his hands on the head of the lamb and confess his sins. The lamb then took the sins and died for it. Jesus took our sins upon him and died for them. It all goes back to the sacrificial lamb concept. Same thing with Adam and Eve. When they sinned, they made fig leaf aprons. God said, no, something has to die. And he made coats. Coats and aprons are different, by the way, for modesty. And he made coats out of skin. Something had to die. Cain and Abel. Cain brought his fruit and vegetables. Hey, God, look what I did for you. God wouldn't take it. A lamb had to die. Abel brought a lamb. Abel knew sin is serious. God requires the death penalty. So Jesus took our sins upon him. He was not a sinner. The lamb didn't do the sin when the guy brought the lamb to offer for the sacrifice. The man did the sin, but he put his sin on the lamb. I don't know how that works, but it seems to work fine. Okay, Jesus took care of mine. Okay, let's see. Christ brings us. The old man in me has many years of experience with a special set of skills. He knows. We won't go any further on that one. Thank you. Okay, let's see. That's all you got. Thank you for joining us. Okay, group today, lunch at Camp 31 Barbecue. We haven't been there in a long time. Yay. Pretty expensive. If you want to help sponsor a lunch, it's anywhere from $300 to $400 every time we take our crew to lunch. So if you want us to mention your business, lunch today provided by, somebody, please contact Secretary Sandra, and she will say, oh, you want to sponsor a lunch? Every Sunday we take them to lunch someplace if we can afford it. So today, last time we went to Camp 31, I think there were 40 people. It cost $500. No. Huh? One more comment. Question for Kent. You're awesome. It wasn't actually a question. Okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. Bye. See you tomorrow.